This is Max Scherzer, Pro Boxing fans. I'm delighted to be joined once again by Dev Sahni. I think, Dev, the last time I interviewed you was in Saudi Arabia. It was actually Moses' last fight, so different settings, but Moses returns, and I imagine before we break down the fight, it must just be good to see Moses back in action.
Yeah, the return of the man many are seeing as the future king. Future king, imagine that pressure. 21 years old, you've boxed 26 rounds as a professional, and everyone's already put that crown on your head. So, from what I've seen though, he looks like he can deal with that pressure, and yeah, great to see him back. I think he's one of the most talked about sportsmen out there right now. A lot of heavyweight conversations, no matter what they're talking about, they kind of end up leading back to Moses. It ends up being, oh yeah, but there's Moses coming through. You've got Wardley versus Dubois, right? And people still, as part of that conversation, say, oh, I'd love to see Moses in with the winner. You've got Usyk against Verhoeven, and people are asking Usyk questions about what about Itauma down the line. Like, it's amazing. He is the man right now, but a proper test on Saturday night, because what can happen with hype trains is they can suddenly derail, and that's Jermaine Franklin's plan.
Yeah, definitely. Before we get on to the main event, I think the words Magnificent Seven sums it up perfectly. This card is magnificent, and bringing it back to pressure, a man that does have a lot of pressure at the very start of his career, Hmed. You see him walking around, obviously we know the name Hmed, and we saw Prince Nassim here and all the attention that he gets, but also for him, how do you manage him when you've got all the eyes on you, but also he has that talent? So what do you expect from Hmed?
I think he's just such a lovely young man. Like, he could be, like, he looks $1 million, right? And he's rich and kind of famous already. He could be a real arsehole, but he's not. He's so humble. He's been brought up so nicely. How do you manage his career? He is learning under the lights. Every fight, he's learning. He had no amateur career, nothing like that. So you manage it very carefully, and you bring him along very carefully, and he's in very good hands. The trusted hands, of course, of Frank Warren, the hands that guided his father's career. Sam Jones is working with him as well, and they will look after him and ensure that he can make the most from his talent in this sport. And it's going to be a wonderful journey. I'm looking forward to seeing him back.
Definitely. And then in the co-main event, Willie Hutchinson obviously said that Ezra asked for this fight, and he felt like a bit disrespectful almost, and he said he's gonna make a statement on Saturday. I mean, just that fight, I look at that and I think fireworks. I imagine for you it's the exact same.
When that fight got made, I was like, really? Because I needed to see Ezra Taylor in against Louis Edmondson to judge where he is, and that would have been the perfect understanding of it. He's jumped above a Louis Edmondson level. Louis Edmondson's British and Commonwealth champion. Willie Hutchinson is world title contender, ranked very highly by all sanctioning bodies. And Ezra Taylor is leaping up the levels, but he's so confident and he puts in so much work that he really backs himself to win this fight. As does Willie Hutchinson, by the way. So you've got two super, uber confident guys who have been talking the talk, and I can't wait to find out who can walk the walk, because there is going to be egg on the face of one of them on Saturday night. And fantastic fight. Both great characters as well. Both can talk, and it was tremendous up there earlier on.
Definitely. I think the reason we all love boxing is how unpredictable it is, and I think there's been a lot of talk of Jermaine Franklin. Will he give him rounds? Will he give him this? But Moses Itauma, I don't want to get the number wrong, but I think he boxed between 5 minutes and 20 seconds or 5 minutes and 30 seconds last year. I know you don't necessarily want to give one way or the other, but is there a chance Moses gets caught cold here, do you think?
Gets caught early, did you say?
Caught cold, sorry.
Gets caught cold. Look, there's a chance for anything in heavyweight boxing. You could say that he caught Dillian Whyte cold in his last fight. Fighters get caught cold. I don't know. I mean, Moses is very, very switched on, and Jermaine is a danger in this fight, though. I do think that, and for me, he looks leaner than certainly he was a few months ago at the launch press conference. He's not the guy who's just rocked up on the Wednesday, presser Thursday, weigh-in Friday, knocked out on the Saturday, flight home on the Sunday. No, this is a guy who has camped himself in the UK. He's been training at Don Charles's farm, been getting good sparring in there, acclimatised, and wants to become the face of American heavyweight boxing. That's a man with genuine ambition and talent, by the way. Go and ask guys like Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua how talented Jermaine Franklin is. If you don't believe them, ask guys Ivan Ditchko. That's like a 2-time Olympic bronze medalist. I know it was a close fight, but Ditchko didn't win that fight. Jermaine Franklin did, and he went in with like family members dying. He had all of that going on in his head. So he's a talent, he's a danger, but Moses could be a once-in-a-generation talent. I love the fight. It's the perfect fight, and I can't wait.
Once-in-a-generation talent. When you look at Moses Itauma, right, even commercially and his name, you don't have him out maybe every month or so, but also when he's stopping people so quick, and I know Jermaine Franklin could give that different test. How do you manage Moses? Because like Frank said, he's on his way up to that world stage, and I think he's boxed 26 rounds in 13 fights. How do you get him that experience? Because like I said, you don't get him out every month, but how do you manage Moses Itauma?
Well, thankfully I don't manage Moses Itauma. That is in the very trusted hands of Francis Warren, of course promoted by Frank, and the team Tauma doing a great job as well. Charles is leading the way there. But in terms of his development, I'd imagine that a lot of it is going on behind closed doors, because he's not getting that ring time because he seems to knock people out immediately. So behind closed doors, he's in very capable hands of Ben Davison and Lee Wiley, and they know how to nurture their fighters, and I'd imagine it's all happening there. And that gym's also now got a world heavyweight champion, so I wonder how that's affected Moses' development and mentality, knowing that he trains alongside perhaps a future opponent, who knows, but certainly a current world heavyweight champion. I think it's all going on behind closed doors.
Just last couple, Dev. Obviously, like you said, we have this amazing fight, but then we have Daniel Dubois, Fabio Wardley. I've spoken to so many people, and I think the instant reaction was almost shocked that Wardley's first defence against Daniel Dubois' first fight is against someone like Fabio Wardley. For you, I mean, it's the perfect fight, isn't it?
It's the perfect fight, and it's kind of a shocking fight for both of them to take. Like, you'd get a lot of fighters who become world champion and then want to just settle in. Let's long this out. Let's make sure that I get a nice easy defence first, and before they stick a mandatory on me, that kind of thing. Fabio Wardley hasn't done that. Fabio Wardley has got hold of the title and said, let me see who the best possible person is that's available to fight, that has a 95% knockout rate, that could knock me out. Let me see where that guy is. Daniel, do you want to fight? And Daniel's like, I'm coming off a loss to Alexander Usyk, but let me go and cave your head in and become world heavyweight champion. I love it. I love the fight. It's brilliant, and I love Daniel's attitude going into the fight. I love Fabio's attitude going into the fight. We've got two proper fighters, and we've got a proper British heavyweight title showdown. Just not the British heavyweight title, yeah.
Definitely. And then Dev, just last one, Queensbury, it's the home of the heavyweights, and I mean maybe the pick of the bunch, Tyson Fury returns. I mean, just first of all, how excited are you to see Tyson back, and almost is the fight Anthony Joshua, is that what you want to see down the road?
When Tyson's not in this heavyweight division, there is a feeling that something's missing. You know how I spoke earlier about how conversation turns to Moses. Conversation always turns to Tyson Fury as well. He has been just one of the most glorious characters we've ever seen in the history of boxing. When he's not around, we miss him. When he is around, we love him. And some hate him, but they definitely watch him. So I'm excited about his return. I'm excited about the fight, and best of luck to Tyson Fury.
Thank you very much.